Today's video, we're going to talk about our top 10 things that we love about living in a yurt.
Honestly, Nicole and I have never lived in a yurt before, and we're loving it so far. And we want to share with you in just the last few months that we've been building the yurt and living in the yurt. We're new yurt dwellers, and we want to share with you our top 10 favorite parts about yurt life.
Number one would be less than 3 days to put it up.
Yeah, so it's really quick. Once we got the platform built, it literally took us about 3 days to complete, and this is Nicole and I as a couple with no prior experience. The platform was the hardest for us because we built it 4 feet up off the ground, 3 feet off the ground. But if you were to put the yurt on ground that was already level, it would take so fast.
Yeah.
So honestly, it was so satisfying to build the home that we're living in days.
Yeah,
so quick.
It was really nice.
Yeah, loved it.
All right, number two.
Number two is when you live in a yurt, you have the freedom to build the inside. So when you finally put the yurt up, it's a big open space. Ours is a 30-foot diameter, open like banquet room looking building.
So it's an open canvas. You can literally do whatever you want. You can have a bunch of beds, you can have no beds, you can have it just be a yoga studio, you can have it be a martial arts studio, you can have it be an art studio, you can have it be a home, which is what we're doing, you can have a loft, you can have 2 lofts, you can have no lofts, you can do whatever you want.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a loft for the bedroom, and then downstairs a yoga qigong area, a kitchen, and an office, and then we're going to have a joint area that will take us to the washroom with compost toilet and shower.
Number 3 is the sacred geometry and the look of it and the dome. I mean, it's really comforting to be in here. The circle, and it's really beautiful. It's really refreshing and really peaceful, and just, I mean, it looks like a giant sun is just like raying over us. It's beautiful.
Yeah, when you hear that word sacred geometry, every night that Nicole and I are working out inside here, or we're sleeping or waking up, like I get to see this amazing dome light with rays of sun coming off of it, and it really is inspiring. It's like when you look up and you see a beautiful tree, or you look up in a forest and see all the trees, I get the same sensation seeing the dome and the rays, the rafters. It's sacred geometry. It's very appeasing to the eye, and I love it.
And the light that comes through just like illuminates all the beams, and it's just beautiful.
Before number 4, I gotta get a video of this because this cat Reishi is truly on the Reishi. I mean, this is the floppiest, cuddliest, cutest cat of all time. Just with the closed eyes.
Just loves to be cuddled.
Loves it.
Just like me. Okay, number 4.
Number 4 is living in a yurt and building a yurt is a very low environmental impact when compared to traditional housing.
Yes.
I mean, it does have a top cover, and it does have a side cover, and it does have insulation that's man-made. But when you compare this yurt, pound for pound, carbon footprint to carbon footprint, to a house of the same size, or to a traditional structure of the same size, the yurt has a very low environmental impact.
Which we love. Which
we love because our goal is to live off the grid, and we needed a place to live initially. Coming up, you're gonna see us build out of cob, out of rock, out of logs, and we can't do those things unless we have a base up location. So not only did the yurt enable us to have a home very quickly in a matter of days, but then it's a very low environmental impact structure, and we feel like if we are going to be alive and living somewhere, this structure, the yurt, enables us to not tread too heavily on the Earth's resources.
Number 5 is kind of weird, but this is our top 10 reasons why we love the yurt. So when you're inside the yurt, the sun shifts throughout the day and it beams through the dome. And I mean, when you stand in the spot of the sun where the sun is hitting, it's hot and it's warm. So we can tan in that spot.
Indoors.
You have to like follow it, but so we like that we are able to tan inside, and then we have no tan lines, So if
Nicole and I are gonna have like a full-on nudist day, we can actually like be nude in the yurt, but still have an amazing sexy tan by rolling as the dome light shifts its beam across the floor. Kind of like in Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he finds the location of the Lost Ark by putting that crystal with the beam of light.
Yeah.
We have that effect with the dome.
Yeah. And I also make tea in there, so if I'm doing like a sun-infused tea and I don't want to go outside, I could just follow the sun. It's really nice.
So indoor suntan, sun-infused tea inside, thanks to the amazing beam of light that the dome creates.
Yeah, it's very nice. Number 6.
This is the Chinese way of saying 6.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, this is
6.
not shaka bra. This is 6 in Chinese. So number 6, the yurt can be erected anywhere, and its shape makes it very safe, especially when it's attacked by wind. Okay, so I love how you see yurts in open grasslands, like in Mongolia. You see yurts in forests like us. You see yurts around the ocean on cliffs. Yurts are versatile in the settings they can inhabit. I love that. Nicolle and I literally showed up here at our 8 acres with the yurt, built it on site, but we could have built the yurt anywhere.
Yeah, they even have them in like Alaska, places where it's like constantly snowing and like everywhere.
They have them in Arizona where it's a desert.
Yeah.
And you think about the cone-like shape of the yurt, it's very difficult for the wind to grab onto that kind of shape. And I think that enables people traditionally, like Mongolians, to utilize yurts in wide open areas like grasslands because the wind won't just blow them away. It kind of just maneuvers around them. And I think its shape, the yurt shape, is a genius design.
Very nice. Very nice. Number 7. The yurt forces you to be a minimalist.
Yeah.
It's like a tiny home. You can't become a pack rat. You can't accumulate a lot of stuff because it's not a very big area, which is really nice. So low impact on the earth.
Forcing you to be organized.
Forcing you to be organized.
It would be beautiful to live in like a chateau or a castle or like an 8-bedroom house, but that also might force you to acquire too many things and have messy places. The yurt, for us, is one of the keys to keeping us organized, keeping us minimalists, and just living mindful.
Yeah.
We have to be mindful of what furniture we have, of what things we're going to bring in here because we don't want to become claustrophobic. And
yeah, like you can't put too much stuff in here. It's just too much.
we've only been living here for a month or two, so keep tabs on us with our YouTube channel here by subscribing, and you'll see how we organize the yurt, how we build the inside out, and what we are doing to make sure we can have a glorious life, but also a minimalist life coming up.
Yep. Number 8.
Number 8, the yurt is a low-cost structure, and it does not cost as much as a traditional home. So it'll enable you to save money and instead apply that savings toward becoming debt-free or apply that savings toward a better property. It frees you up financially because of its low cost.
Like we don't have a mortgage. We don't have to pay rent.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
So there is a cost of the yurt, but there's different sizes depending on what price point that you come in on. And once you purchase the yurt, now you can either go get some land or you can maybe hook up a connection with somebody who's got some land and has an extra spot on that land for you. But
yeah.
The low cost nature of the structure enables you to escape the rat race and be financially free.
Yeah. And do what you love to do.
For sure.
Number 9, almost to the jazz hands. Connecting yurts and creating yurt compounds. So what's really nice about yurts is you can connect them together to create a bigger yurt or expand, or if you're having a family and you want to have a bedroom or whatnot, or you can create like a yurt community. And like we want to get another yurt and we want that to be like the woofing quarters or the guest quarters to have people come and work on the farm, or even just guest, family, friends, etc. So it's really nice. And they're, like we said, number 2 or number 1, it takes like 3 or 4 days to put up. It's like super fast, or even like if it wasn't so big, like we got a smaller one, it'd probably just take a day.
So Pacific Yurts, the company that designed our yurt, you can go to their Instagram and you'll see how Pacific Yurts has their yurts in many different settings. Sometimes they have yurts as part of a compound in a network. I've even seen yurts done where they end up putting a 2-story yurt in the future. You know,
Really?
I've seen that.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and you can also connect yurts together through, you know, like an extra door or whatever you're only limited by your idea. So if you were gonna have a guest quarters yurt or like a family guest house yurt, it'd be easy to set up. You can have it be a smaller yurt, let's say, and it'd be really cool compound you'd be creating when your friends and family came out to like, do you guys want to go in the green yurt or the blue yurt or the red yurt? Or,
yeah, and it's fun. Like they want to stay in the yurts because
Yeah.
they're really fun to stay in. Like when people are like, "Oh, you live in a yurt? Like what is that?" Or like, "Oh, you live in a tent?" Like it's just really, it's incredible.
Do you feel like we're living in a tent, or it's tent-like, but do you really feel like whenever I'm camping or I'm hiking and I'm in a tent, I feel limited by the tent? Do you feel like this is a tent, or?
Yes and no. That actually leads into number 10, which we'll say here in a second. But I do feel like I'm in a tent I do and I don't. Like, obviously I don't feel claustrophobic because the tent is very small and it's not very big.
It's incredibly spacious in here.
It's very spacious. Like, I can dance around, I could do yoga, we could do lessons, we have kittens. And
I mean, the dome is 15 feet up.
yeah, and we were gonna put a loft in. So yes and no. But that leads us into number 10. So number 10, my favorite, is you really feel one nature when you're living in a yurt. Like, when it rains, you hear the rain. Like, and when you're in a cabin, like, you hear it and it's like, oh, it's raining, oh cool. But in here, like, I don't know, like, it could be trickling outside, but it really feels like it's like raining hardcore in here, and it's beautiful. Like, we both love the rain, so it's really nice. And you hear everything. You hear the birds, you hear things buzzing by, like
if we hear a person walking, even if it's acres away on the road, we hear their steps. If we hear a vehicle like way in the distance, if we hear a deer calling at night.
Yeah. Like,
we hear everything. Like we're outside, but we're not outside.
Yeah. So it's really, you are really one with nature here. You hear the wind blowing, you hear the tree swaying. It's beautiful. It's music that you hear outside.
So you like this? Here. You like this fact?
I love it. I think it's really great.
It's sad when you go to the city and people are listening to nature sounds to sleep, and they should just live in a yurt.
Seriously.
Because you would have free 100% 24/7
You hear the
nature
frogs.
sounds.
I mean, you hear everything. Like, we wake up to the birds in the morning, and the wind breathes against the yurt, and the rain, and like, it would be like raining, and we stop and look at each other, like, oh, it's raining.
I mean,
we take a minute to like take it in.
3 acres away last night, I heard a couple of bears mating out in the forest, and I heard the whole entire act.
What?
I'm just